The Apostle Peter taught that we should be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you. Another prophet, Alma, wrote, "All things denote there is a God." There are hundreds of reasons why I believe. Today I want to share just one of those. I've learned by experience that we have a loving Father in heaven who stands ready to help us with any challenge or decision we face in this life. If something is of concern to us, it is of concern to Him. As a young married student in college, I was unsure of what I should do when I graduated. I was a chemistry major, but my application to attend a graduate school for cancer research was rejected. I had other places I had applied to and been accepted, but now I didn't know where I should go. At the time, Kelly and I were expecting our first child, and I was worried about getting into the right school, helping her transition to a new doctor, and my ability to provide for our growing family. What I did know then, and know with even greater certainty now, is that God both hears and answers prayer. The prophet Nephi taught that we must not perform anything unto the Lord, save in the first place ye shall pray unto the Father in the name of Christ, that He shall consecrate thy performance for the welfare of thy soul. After studying my remaining options for school, I chose the one I felt would give me the best career opportunities. Then, following Nephi's counsel, I prayed to know if my choice was right. To my surprise, I felt awful. Despite every rational and logical reason that led me to the choice I thought was right, as I shared that proposed path in prayer with God, I felt unsettled. I regrouped and decided to ask about the next school on my priority list, the University of Kentucky. Immediately, I felt a powerful peace and assurance that was the school I was to attend. It wasn't long after we arrived in Kentucky that Kelly began to have challenges with her pregnancy. Despite having a due date in October, her new doctor measured her and told her she really wasn't due until late November. This made no sense to us. Why would her due date suddenly move out by a month? Soon after, she became very sick, and I took her to the hospital. Her illness began to put the baby in distress and send her into preterm labor. In those days, ultrasound technology was still in its infancy, but in that very year, the ability to see in color was newly introduced in a few hospitals. Working at the Central Baptist Hospital in Lexington, Kentucky, was one of the world's experts and earliest pioneers of this new visualization approach. He was brought in to examine Kelly. He saw something that others had missed. There were infarctions on the umbilical cord, indicating to him that nourishment was not getting to the baby as needed. Kelly's original due date had been right. The baby just wasn't growing. It was determined that an emergency C-section was needed to save the baby's life. Despite being 37 weeks along, our son Derek was born weighing less than 4 pounds. As we held him for the first time, I was reminded of my plan to attend a different school. I realized if we had gone there, it's unlikely our son's life would have been preserved. There may have been other reasons I needed to attend school in Lexington, but after being there less than 2 months, I had already seen enough to convince me. The ability to pray and receive answers to prayer has helped me know with absolute confidence that we have a loving Father in heaven who stands ready to lead, direct, and support us throughout our lives. Whether you need help with a personal challenge or a public pandemic, I promise God knows best how to bless your life and is ready to hear and guide your path. In like manner, I have come to know through prayer that God has a plan of happiness prepared for all His children, including ours. I know Jesus Christ is His only begotten Son and the Savior for all mankind, that He speaks to us today as He did anciently through prophets and apostles, and that He has restored to the earth, as Peter promised He would, His church, even the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Coming to know these truths has made all the difference in my life. The Apostle James was right. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and it shall be given him. This truth, which I have experienced again and again in my life, is just one of the reasons of the hope that is in me and why I believe.